Welcome. This is a seated stretch series for the hamstrings, the inner thighs, and the lower back. If sitting on the floor is uncomfortable, feel free to prop yourself up on a few yoga blocks or even a cushion will do. You're going to start off by sitting flat onto your bum, or as flat as possible, with one leg extended as far out to the side as you can manage. The other leg is folded in. Okay, now your position at home might not look exactly like this, and that's totally fine. Maybe your hips are a little bit more elevated, raised onto a couple yoga blocks or a cushion, and maybe this leg is a little bit bent. That is no problem at all. You are just working with what your body is telling you it can do today. So from this position, my legs are set up and my body is facing forward. So what I want to do is take the body and rotate it over my extended leg. I'm going to take my opposite hand, reach it across, and grab the outside of the shin. This is going to help me with that rotation. Your first goal is just to get that body as rotated as possible. Once you feel like you're there, you can start to edge the chest down towards the thigh, but the main goal at first is just the rotation. Here you should be feeling a little bit of a pull in the lower back, in the back of the hamstring, and maybe even across the shoulder if you're very tight. All right, just remember to breathe and allow that stretch to release. We're going to hold that for anything between 15 to 45 seconds, and then gently coming out. From here, I keep my legs where they are. I'm now going to take the same hand as leg and place it on the inside of the shin. I'm going to use pressure into that hand to rotate my chest over my bent leg this time. Once I've found that rotation, I'm going to take the side arm up to the ceiling and then over towards my outstretched foot. Now what's very important here is that I'm fighting to keep the rotation and I'm reaching this arm as much as I possibly can. Okay, make sure you've got a straight arm in this movement. All right, and we're holding it here for 5, for 4. I am doing a countdown. If you're doing this at home, just make sure you're there for at least 15 seconds. And you can really go as long as you feel you can. All right, just keep your breath nice and even and make sure nothing else is getting tense whilst you're trying to find release. 2 and 1 and opening out. Fantastic. We're now going to repeat that on the other side. So I bring one leg in and I extend the other leg out. Now, take a second to just maneuver your support. Maybe on this side you can take your bum down to the floor. Maybe you need to lift it up. Maybe this leg is a little bit bent. Maybe it's a little bit more straight. Whatever it is, take a second to just settle down. Now, our first movement is rotating the chest over that outstretched leg. So I'm going to take my opposite hand and rotate it across. I've grabbed the outside of the shin and I'm pulling that chest into rotation. Once I've found that rotation, if I feel like I can, I'm going to drop the chest towards the thigh as much as possible. Getting into the hamstring, getting into a little bit of the lower back and maybe even the shoulder across. Deep breaths. Let's go for another 10 seconds in this one. Sinking further and further into it if you can. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently releasing. Okay, now we're going to swap those hands around. Same hand as leg goes onto the inside of the lower leg. I rotate that chest as much as I can over the bent knee. I then take this arm up to the ceiling and over into that lovely lengthened side bend position whilst fighting for that rotation. Remembering to keep the face and neck as relaxed as possible. If the neck is feeling pinchy in this position, play around with the placement of the face. Doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's feeling comfortable and tension free. All right, so move those eyes around and find a position that suits you. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently recovering out of that. And breathe.